In federal politics, we are following the latest polling numbers this week on the Conservatives' growing lead over the Liberals. And joining us now for more is Nik Nanos, founder and chief data scientist at Nanos Research. Nik, thank you for joining us as always.
Good to see you, Roger.
Well, the Conservatives look like they're extending their lead over the Liberals. Is that a surprise, or is it unusual, the direction?
What we've seen, at least in the period following on the Conservative convention that they had in Quebec City in August, and the Nanos tracking, the Conservatives have been opening up a lead. Right now, they're at 36%, followed by the Liberals at 29, NDP at 21, Bloc 7, Green 5. That's a good number for the Green, by the way. People's Party of Canada about 2%. But the 7-point advantage really shows that the Liberals are on the ropes politically. And the thing is that Stephen Harper won a number of elections with a 6 or 7-point advantage. So right now, Pierre Poilievre and the Conservatives are in the driver's seat. And I'm sure the Liberals are trying to do anything that they can to try to reverse this trend line, but they haven't been successful over the last couple months.
No, it wasn't the best week or so for them. That probably has not helped them these last couple of weeks.
Can I say yikes? The resignation of the Speaker of the House over the veteran that was brought in and recognized that had an affiliation with the Waffen-SS. Wow, think of it this way. For a government that, House was resuming, they talked about India and the allegations of the Indian government murdering a Canadian citizen in British Columbia. Then they had Zelensky, the leader in the Ukraine, come. All that's been erased because that's not what folks are talking about. Folks are talking about the Speaker of the House having to resign and Justin Trudeau having to talk about what happened. So, I'm sure they were hoping they might get a little bit of a bump out of those other two issues. Nope, nothing yet.
All right, let's talk about the prime ministerial numbers, the Conservative leader having high numbers. When was the last time we saw something like this?
Well, Roger, these are actually the most important numbers because we have Pierre Poilievre as the preferred choice of prime minister among 31% of Canadians. He's up 4 points in the last 4 weeks, but check out that trend line for Justin Trudeau. Down 7 points in 4 weeks.
Wow.
Only 24%, or 1 out of every 4 Canadians, give a tip of the hat to Justin Trudeau as the preferred prime minister. This is the number to watch, Roger, seriously.
That is, and are the Liberals at a point they could think about a new leader? Or are we getting too close to an election for them?
Well, I'm sure if you're Justin Trudeau looking at these numbers, you have to be very disappointed. Usually the prime minister of the day has about a 4 or 5 point advantage. So not only does he not have an advantage, he's trailing, by 7 points behind Pierre Poilievre. And I think for Justin Trudeau, if he wants to continue, he needs a complete reset. He needs to explain why he should be left in power, or if he went before Canadians, to be given another mandate, and what's left to be done. I think right now, when we look at those ballot numbers and we look at the preferred prime minister's numbers, what this all adds up to, Liberals in trouble and Justin Trudeau's brand not being as strong as it has been in the past.
All right, some interesting times ahead for the next little while. Let's go latest numbers when it comes to issue tracking here in Canada. What are you seeing?
Roger, this might explain why the Conservatives have the upper hand both on the issue and ballot front, but you can see change in the last number of weeks. In the last 4 weeks, inflation as the top national unprompted issue of concern at 18%, up a full 5 points in 4 weeks. Housing, people focused on housing at 14%, up 6 points. Environment's down to 12, and we know the fires aren't in the news as much. Job and the economy is still important at 11. Healthcare at 7, down 3. So what we're seeing is ballot numbers favoring the Conservatives, Pierre Poilievre's brand being stronger, and also Canadians increasingly focused on meat and potatoes economic issues like inflation, housing, and the rising cost of living. That's what Canadians want to hear from all the federal parties. But for the Liberals to turn this around, they're going to have to focus on these issues. But I'm sure Pierre Poilievre and the Conservatives would be very happy to talk about these types of issues because the Conservatives are traditionally stronger on things like, the economy, inflation, rising cost of living and stuff like that.
It's about the economy, right? People always worry: housing, jobs, and inflation, always key things for everybody.
Yeah, I think one famous American strategist said, "It's the economy, stupid."
I held off on the last word.
Yeah, well, I could say that. I know, Roger, you can't.
Nik, thank you very much, sir. Always a pleasure.
Take it easy.